Alrighty, we are back at you, Reggie Empire. What a good old conversation with two different generations, Generation X, which I'm Generation X, and Generation Z, and we're going to keep this person anonymous. And today's topic is about somebody who grew up like in the military background slash the Southside Chicago, and a little bit about his background and the life he lives today, and a little bit about reproduction and generational growth and stuff like that. So here we go. Let's talk about Southside Chicago.
Yes, sir. So, Southside Chicago, I come from 75th and Stewart, we call that Wooga World. Um, Coming up, a lot of people. A lot of people be doing the same thing, you exposed to a lot of danger, a lot of violence.
He's referring to I'm a veteran and I did 2 combat tours in Iraq. But everybody has lived their own war zones.
Yes.
Would you say Southside's a war zone?
Yeah, Southside War Zone, man. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. It be some peaceful nights. You have a lot of good time. A lot of people. You move around. You go to little restaurant spots and all that. But when it get treacherous, it get treacherous. My first friend that I got killed was 9 years old. The story how that went was I was 9 years old. He was nine. We went to the same little elementary school and all that. And I called his mama. I'm like, yeah, I want him to come outside, go to the basketball court. I talked to him and all that too on the phone. He was like, yeah, I'll be outside. Ooh, ooh. So, boom, I told my mama I was gonna go outside, and I'm heading to the basketball court. And as I head there, I'm hearing gunshots, and I'm thinking it's a little distance, because you hear it so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I see like a little body laying in the grass next to the basketball court, like face down with a coat on, with a hood on. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm a little ass kid, but I'm still cursing a little bit. My mama don't know. And I get close. It's my friend. He got shot in the back of the head 5 times. I'm like, damn. I run back to the crib. I ain't know how to feel. It's just like a numbing ass feeling.
Feeling
But
numb.
yeah, you don't know how to feel at the time. So it's just like, when shit like that happens to you, you don't know how to feel.
How'd you absorb it at the time? You shake it off?
I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't know how to feel. I'm gonna keep it 100.
You was 9, you said?
Yeah, I was 9. I went on my regular day, but I was still thinking about that shit for the rest of the day. And my mama understood what the fuck happened because I told her. But other than that, Southside Chicago, you know, Cicero, Little Village, Inglewood, all that. It's good areas. It's a lot of good people too. Everybody knew each other. But yeah, it's a good area. Chicago, a good place. Illinois is a good place too. Shout out Indiana.
Now we're not going to talk about where we're going to talk about we live in the state of Texas, and we're going to leave it at that. But I want to ask this young brother, why'd you leave Southside Chicago to come to Central Texas?
Because every black man has a face card. Once you done been around there so damn much, and everybody know you.
Face card, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
Because we have face cards in Iraq, meaning the priority of who we want to kill, a priority of on the search. So explain face cards in Southside Chicago.
So when you in Chicago in general, Illinois in general, and the surrounding areas, a face card means a person that everybody recognizes. Oh yeah, they did this or that person, this and that. You feel me? So when they see you, they gonna treat you like that. So once you got a face card, it's like an ID. It's just like when.
Is it a death card?
I'm not just saying it's a death card in general, but it's just for what people know you as.
Like the Joker.
No.
Give example of a face card.
It's face card is a picture.
Oh, okay.
Say you was a person. You do this, you do that. Okay, cool. You a worksman, or you a construction man, or you be out there in the streets. You go to the club. You a prostitute. You know what I'm saying. You a stripper. You know what I'm saying. You this, you that. You feel me? You a drug dealer. You this and that. That's what a face card is. People gonna know exactly who you are because a lot of people are connected. So
a face card in a way is a good way as a deterrent, as is if you're a face card, don't mess with this person.
It's just it's just to
It's
determine who you are
yeah, okay.
as a person. You know, just oh yeah, this that person right there. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? We know how to handle him. You know.
Got you. And now you're in Texas. How long you been living in Texas?
Man, staying in Texas about 3.5 years, man. It's alright. You know, it's real calm. You can go outside. You ain't gotta worry about nothing. Um, just conduct yourself in a positive manner, and you know, move righteous, and you're gonna get that same type of energy back.
Can you leave what you left in Chicago and come to Texas and kind of forget where you come from or came from, I guess?
Yes, you can. You know, if you know how to conduct yourself. You know, because I mean, a lot of people don't make it out of Chicago. So once you move to a different place, you just have to start fresh. You have to know how to move around people. Hey, how you doing? When you go to the store, or when you be around somebody who actually loves you, treat them that way as well too. You ain't gotta, you know, do this and do that 24/7. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta carry your bad habits. You know, so just conduct yourself right, and everybody gonna treat you right.
All right, and we're going to switch topics a little bit. We're going to talk about because AI was talking about reproduction is is okay, but the rate of reproduction is down. Right now, I am a Gen X, and you are Generation Z. Right? Yeah.
I think so. I'm
Let
not
me
sure.
confirm that. What generation is 1976?
Generation X, born 1965 to 1980.
And one more thing. Is the current population down or up?
The global population is up. As of 2026, the world population is approximately 8.3 billion, continuing a steady increase despite a slowing growth rate. Would you like to see a breakdown?
The question is, explain the growth rate before we go in this conversation.
The global population growth rate is the percentage by which a population increases each year. Currently, while the total population is still going up, the growth rate is slowing down. It peaked in the late 1960s at about 2.
So, we're going to talk about the growth rate. So, just like Gemini said, the population is okay, but the growth rate is down. It almost sounds like conflicted information, but it really is not. Because people are having less kids now. Like, for example, by the time I was 28 years old, before I was 30, I had 3 kids already. And we have this gentleman to my left who is 24 and doesn't have any kids. The question is, why haven't you reproduced?
To be honest, and I'm gonna tell everybody who's listening as well. In 2026, a lot of young people don't want to have a lot of kids because we don't have the same type of connections that we did as people back in the early 1900s, or you know, the mid 1900s as well. It's focused on the economy. You know, a lot of people just be they don't be in the same financial situation where they should be, and they be having kids a lot early, especially in the black community, because that's what I know. A lot of people in the black community they like to fuck. I ain't gonna lie to you, you feel me? They love to fuck, you know what I'm saying, from an early ass age, and then they fuck around and nothing, you know what I'm saying, you know, a little shorty, and then hey, you got a baby by the time.
She's referring to playing Russian roulette.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people don't care. You feel me? Because a lot of people just want that little pleasure. And nowadays, a lot of people are on strict budgets.
So, true. I mean, in all reality, could you afford to have kids right now? I couldn't. In this day and age, I had 5 kids. I'm sorry, a family of 5, and I have 3 kids, and I was able to raise a family of 5 with an income around about $65,000 to $70,000.
Yes.
That's unheard of today. So you mentioned about the economy. So are you saying the reason why you don't have kids because it's not affordable?
I wouldn't necessarily, it is unaffordable. Hold on, my bad. I stuttered a little bit. I'm not saying it's unnecessarily unaffordable for me, But for a lot of people in America, it is because a lot of people are on a strict, um, in a strict situation. A lot of people aren't set up right. We have a failed educational system. We
Facts.
have a lot of bad influences. A lot of jobs at minimum wage. So when you do drop out of high school, the only places you can work at is Burger King, McDonald's, HB, Walmart. You feel me? So
And AI is replacing a lot of that.
yes, and a lot of people are just a lot of people just aren't hard working. A lot of people aren't money makers. So we do have a little bad situations. We do have a lot of black on black conflict as well. So you might got a baby mama saying "fuck her baby daddy,"
Hmm.
this and that, this and that. It's a lot of misstructure going on in this generation that we didn't have a lot, a long time back then. Because back then, when people was working on the plantation fields and had big houses, and I'm not just saying necessarily big houses, but when people had to work together before technology and people were spoiled and all that, a lot of people raised families and stuck together. They was family. So that's what I got to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, it's like my cuckoo clock is going off and it's distracting me. Anyway, I mean, you think about it. I mean, generation the ratio of people having kids is slowing down, and it's because of the fact that the cost of daycare has tripled. How much has daycare gone up in the past 10 years for one child?
In the past decade, 2016 to 2026, the national average cost of daycare for one child has increased by approximately 40%. This growth has significantly outpaced the general inflation rate of roughly 31% during the same period.
So, exactly. So, you say like you got two people working in a household and you have two kids, right? What's the median cost for daycare in Central Texas for two kids?
In Central Texas, the median cost for full-time daycare for two children typically ranges from $1,800 to $2,600 per month. Costs.
I can't. So, $2,000 for daycare for two kids, right?
Yep.
So when you look at it from a perspective of, okay, so I have two kids and I'm a man, 24 years old, and I have a wife. Both of us is working. We make about $70,000 a year combined, and we have two kids, and it costs $2,000 a month just to put them in daycare.
See, the thing about nowadays, everything is digital. We live in a digital world nowadays, and everything has payments. This isn't like in the 1800s, like I said, 1800s, early 1900s, mid 1900s. You feel me? Early 2000s, to where you could just lay under the line with money. Everything is digital, and you have a lot of payments to make. You got cars, you got bills, you got mortgage, you got oil, you got food, you got kids, clothes. So a lot of people don't be responsible in all those areas. So it's just misfortune.
So you're saying like you play Russian roulette, right? Spit a child out, and you realize the expenses of a child exceeds your capability. Not specifically you, but another person example in your age group.
People realize the amount of money they spend and everything in life. Cause by the time a lot of people grow up, just being regular average high school kids. And
Hmm.
then once they move out and they, start paying bills, they be like, oh fuck, I got responsibilities. I gotta buy detergent, soap, hygiene, clothes. I gotta pay my bills. I gotta make sure I gotta do my repairs. I gotta get gas for my car. I gotta get clothes. You feel me? I gotta pay for my kid. This and that. So it's a lot of responsibilities that a lot of people fall behind because they just get lazy and they just fall behind. They just give up slowly. They give up real slowly. So
Defeated or retreated? You know, two different things.
you supposed to defeat that shit. You supposed to think outside the box and be the person who you are and figure this shit out. Because you don't want to be a motherfucker stuck in the system. You don't want to lose your life early. You don't want to fuck up. Trust me. You know, and there's a lot of young motherfuckers that don't understand that shit because they young and wild and out going to clubs, you know, shaking their ass, fucking, you know what I'm saying, you know, they doing this and doing that, doing drugs and wasting their life away. And they don't realize it till the last second. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I got a good question for you before we end this video.
What's good?
Would you say that Chicago defeated you, or you retreated from Chicago? We just talked about defeated and retreated.
I want to say that I feel like I accomplished it because I made it out. A lot of people don't make it out. A lot of people lose their life at babies, 12, 13, you know, be in the system forever, get 60 years at 13 years old.
So you conquered it, and now you're moving on to bigger things.
Of course, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do because at the same time, if you don't leave, it's like a crab in a bucket. You know, when you a crab in a bucket, it's hot water and it's alive crabs. So the crab that's crawling up, they're gonna try to pull it down so they can crawl up. So it's hot as hell, you know what I'm saying? You know, until your death. That's what it is. Shout out me, babe.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking about a young man who conquered the South Side of Chicago. Not claiming nothing. Conquered his perception. He conquered whatever he had going on, and he's moving on to bigger things that came on down here to Texas. I salute you for that.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on here.
Oh yeah, I appreciate having our guest speaker on I guess you call the Reggie Empire show on Saturdays.
Yes, sir.
So y'all be good. Hope you like the blog, right? All right. Y'all be good. Y'all be blessed. Enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Stay blessed as well from me too.
Reggie Empire. Holla at y'all. Whoop.